Welcome to King's Casino in Rozvadov, where some of the biggest names in poker have gathered to play for big money. The highlight of the trip is the Philhelmuth Invitational Cash Game, where the buy-in is a minimum €20,000. We'll bring you all the action from the main table as Phil and his buddies try to take each other's bankrolls over a no-limit hold'em cash game. First though, the main table is getting ready to play Pot Limit Omaha, with a minimum buy-in of €10,000. Remember, these are cash games. These aren't just stacks of tournament chips. 10,000 chips is worth €10,000. Famous French player Elky is sitting down for this one, as is Italian Max Pescatori. They're joined by American Edward Ochana, who's bought in for 20 grand, double everyone else. But it's Brit Rob Yong who's put the most money down. He's taking his seat at the Omaha table with €50,000. We'll see if having such a deep stack gives him an edge in this game. The game tonight is Pot Limit Omaha, and for those unfamiliar with the game, it's a version of Texas Hold'em, where each player is dealt 4 cards at the start rather than 2. The hand rankings are exactly the same as Hold'em, but each player must use 2 of their whole cards with any combination of 3 of the community cards to make their best hands. Omaha is always played pot limit. The difference is in no-limit games, like Texas Hold'em, you can bet any amount, whereas in pot limit, you can only bet what's in the middle. For example, if the pot is 500, that's the maximum you can bet. This of course leads to a lot more action, where skillful players will control the size of the pot to maximise their return. More whole cards means players have more potential starting hand combinations, and at this table, that means anything can happen. Okay, that's how the game is played, so let's get to the action.
Now, what's up, everyone? We are underway
Just like that. That's
for
it.
the Party Poker Cash game. We'll be playing 100-100 Omaha here at King's Casino. Should be a fun lineup we've got today.
Hello, Bryan. I don't know if you've seen any of these games in the past, but they get pretty wild.
I've actually not seen these yet, so I'm looking forward to it.
Anytime we've got Rob and Leon on the same game, tends to take off.
Now we're starting off with a limped pot here, so somewhat tame so far. But I'm sure we'll get more action as time goes on.
Yeah, once the straddles get in.
Yeah, the pots are going to get so ludicrously inflated too that just kind of limping and seeing what develops behind you seems like a reasonable strategy with anything that has some of that potential.
And especially Leon making these little raises. You know,
500.
A bad double suited hand, but it just makes the pots get a better hand. But it does turn it into. There's a lot of limping because people limp re-raise as well.
Oh, sure. I mean, it seems like a great game to get some limp re-raises in.
No, cool. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought it was 6. Sorry, I had no change.
Then we're going to go 5 ways to the flop.
Found some change down here.
Rob actually has the second best hand here. Elky with the best hand, equity-wise.
Ben's a bit easiest to play post. There we go. Okay, Elky top 2. Leon has top and bottom. Rob has a wrap.
Yeah, so Rob with the lion's share of the equity here.
Not a single. No one's got. Well, there's 2 clubs out, but no one's got a flush draw. So Leon can't raise pre-flop with the 8-6-3 deuce and not fire out the 8-7 deuce.
Now Elky's just gonna get it in probably, right? He only has about pot, so he's in there.
And Rob should fold this wrap now. He's kind of annoying on a flush board. If he had the ace of clubs and the king clubs, he might.
Come on, then.
Oh no, here we go.
He's here to play, man. He's not folding. He's here to play. Leon also here to play.
Wow, here we go.
Leon with only 10%. Rob
But
with
he's got the equity in the side pot.
most of the equity.
I bet Rob's going to be very happy to see no one's got a flush draw.
Yeah, that's great news for
huge
Rob for
against
sure.
flush
No
draw.
clubs.
There you go.
I must be favourite here, yeah?
You are indeed, Rob.
Well, I need the deuce of clubs.
Any 5.
You need deuce of clubs.
Oh, nobody has clubs. That's nice.
Yeah, so Rob needs a 5, 6, 9, 10, jack.
I must be favourite here, yeah?
You are.
Nice and slow, please.
Leon needs just the deuce.
Actually, if Elky hits an 8, we're all dead. You're 8, 9.
Rob's saying Elky can kill it with a 8 or a 7.
Or 7, we're dead.
Deuce of clubs.
Queen of spades.
Interesting.
Is that good
That
for
gives
my
Elky
hand
the
or
flush
not?
draw, so
Yeah, that gives
hurts Rob
Elky
the
a lot
wrap.
more equity. Leon drawing to a deuce, right?
Ah, King 10's
Yeah,
no good.
Leon's hand hasn't changed.
9, 10.
Jack,
Jack.
there it is.
There it is.
Rob's
Rob gets there. And Elky looking a little bit disappointed at that outcome, but Rob did have more equity than Elky on the flop.
Yeah.
Leon and Elky eliminated, although I suspect they will be rebuying.
Good dealing.
Yeah. And obviously, had someone had the flush, they would have, made it. Rob straight wouldn't have won, but in this spot,
You suspect someone's going to have the flush draw there most of the time. Pretty lucky for Rob to not run into a flush draw in that spot.
yeah, yeah.
Get some money in the middle and build the stacks up.
Here we go. I was talking, just get the gambling going so the stacks are
Leon's
deep.
right. No business.
What's up, Raceland? Good to see you.
No economy flops.
Max, no 200.
I start charging these guys.
I mean, 200 is
into hitting
next
up.
time I will. Everybody, I said, almost.
I didn't hear. There was
So do you know Edward at all?
No, so Edward and Ben I've not seen
You
play
don't know?
before.
Okay, okay.
They're the two unknowns to me.
100.
Martin with aces and eights. No Stutza.
Wow, just limping in after Ben's
That's the
limping with
trap.
kings.
It's a tarp.
Here we go.
And it's a
Got
good
his-
one.
Got his customer. I mean, when people are raising the Jack 9-8 deuce, there's not many hands are not raising.
Yeah, I think you got to be limping pretty much everything there. Is Leon re-raising?
Leon is re-raised.
Oh boy, Leon is not in good shape against Martin's hand here.
I was going to raise
No,
that,
and
so he must have a hand.
Martin played this game a lot, so he obviously
He
knows
knows.
his way around it.
Jan Peter going to have to fold the queens, luckily for him.
You know I'm going to raise on the button, yeah?
I have always had a good hand when I play. Omaha, I don't play bad hands. I only play good hands.
Hello. Hello.
I knew they're waiting for me.
Hello.
Hey Ben, good luck to you.
You also.
We are
Fold.
2 against that 2.
I have to fold.
Fold and Leon, I'm all in it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I
I
bet
have
this,
like
I just keep this
11
hand. I
calls.
think this hand's going to win. Back on.
I have 12,000 something. 12-3.
No, I can't call with this hand. It's a bad hand.
So we have a showdown.
I've seen you calling the
Rob did actually fold.
A lot better without a pair and an ace in his hand. But
Kings to aces.
Guys limp.
Leon trying to get some of that bracelet money off of Martin.
I hope Leon has king.
Martin won about 55,000 euros here 2 nights ago.
7.
He could easily lose all of that in this game if he runs bad, but he is a favorite here.
let's see how his form keeps going.
5-7 is alive.
And diamonds.
5-7 is alive.
Diamonds.
I think 5-7.
You're obviously with percentages here.
No
I
aces.
notice are taking
There's no
the
aces
folder card
left.
into account. So
So what is it?
Leon's
Ace of spades
sevens
on the
alive.
flop,
I didn't
Nice and slow,
think any
please.
fives have gone
yeah?
either.
Ace of spades, very good card on the flop. No flush.
Yeah, these percentages are going to change quite a bit based on what everyone else folded.
My
He
hand's
wouldn't
in
normally be
shape, isn't it?
27%. So
Ben actually not in the worst shape. I mean, he's all in 3 ways,
there's
and he
a
has
king.
31. Now he's a big
well,
favorite.
Leon's flipped a straight draw.
Martin with middle set.
Wow, 2 sets. Leon's straight draws. Not so
Martin,
bad.
Martin in the worst shape despite setting the trap here.
Okay, one more
But he
eight
has
or
3
ace,
outs.
please. There's no more 8. No more 8?
There's no more 8.
Okay. No? Okay. Then ace of spades. It doesn't matter.
So Martin, ace or an 8. Leon a 4 or a 9. Otherwise, Ben triples up.
Ace of spades.
There's a 10. So full house versus full house. Martin's second set, no good though.
So you guys
think
put
Ben
100
Martin
in with
wins
kings
the
and
side
aces,
pot against
now we have
Leon.
raise on the button.
But looks
This
like, yeah,
game's-
they're
this
counting
game's
down
too dangerous.
Ben's stack.
Martin does win the side pot. Not a huge one,
Yeah.
but he's
Some
not going to lose
consolation.
much on the hand actually.
8-9 jack or 8-10?
King immediately. First card king. But Leon had a good chance against you.
Yeah.
Elky lost the D-Wiz. He turned a flush draw, but Rob rivered a straight.
Mr. There, Mr. There.
So Elky has rebought for 10K, I believe.
2,000 runner, 1K.
1K with 2,000 people. Wow, when is that? I might have to go
Think
the
about
UK
it,
for
make
that
it
one
what you
myself.
want, guarantee it.
I think after 2 more glasses of wine, it'll be a
5
4
million.
million guaranteed or
I will
something.
make the price structure and then I guarantee.
Okay. Put all requests in the post, please. Yeah, I just never tried that before. I'm just really interested to try it. Can you get 2,000 runners at 1K?
2,000 players.
The guy never called me, actually. The guy was supposed to call me, never
Yeah.
called me.
Never called you.
People like 50.
Martin with ace-queen 10-5 with a suited ace. Jan Peter with a suited ace as well.
Do not meet them.
Yeah, and Jan Peter straddles.
Stuck to 500 in the second.
Trying to keep the action going. Rob with
Elky's
tens.
Elky's kind of, I think, that's what happens. Some people think when he's slipping into playing hands like this.
Right.
It's not like you look
Definitely
bad
not a
with
good.
400.
Yeah,
Not a
this
good
hand,
hand to play.
especially multi-way, you're just always going to make a bunch of mediocre, you know.
It's just nothing's working together. You're trying to make it 6. You never know where you are.
Sorry, Stevie, I'm not sure about that. Changing the settings for natural 8, I don't know. Once I get a little more acquainted with the site, I'll let you know.
Here, this is case in point for Elky.
True, he's got a new
The jack high flush draw.
Yep, Elky with
So no good. Jan Peter's got
middle pair
enough
and a
flush
jack
draw.
high flush draw.
Rob
but-
betting out with 0% equity with the bottom 2
Spoke to him 4 times.
up against Queen 5 for Martin and the nut flush draw for Jan Peter.
This is kind of a case study for Elky, why you don't play hands like this, because he's got 10% equity with his hand, and it's just
Like, you know, people get sucked in. Oh, everyone's calling hardcore, and it almost works the opposite of for Hold'em and Omaha. The more people that come in, the better your hand has to be, not the worse.
Right.
And you can't come in with these big gaps, and you know you can't just overlimp with the 5 deuce suited on the button. The equivalent hand in Omaha only works
Big-
short-handed.
big draw.
It's the opposite.
You have a big draw?
Have a big hand.
Big draw, yeah?
Big hand.
so Martin basically committing a stack here on the flop.
It's up to you.
I have top 2 pair. That-
Martin's expression got a little bit
Yeah.
worse there when he heard that, even though it's not true.
What should he put in?
It's interesting for Martin. It's a little thin with no, you know, no other cards. And he's just playing overs and top and bottom. I'm sure he won't be doing this with just top and
If you
bottom.
don't mind.
He's obviously can hit an ace or 10 if he's up
Elky
against
will
Queen
be-
8.
Yeah, I wasn't lying, was I, Elky?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. 3-6 behind.
I don't think Jan Peter's would be following that flush draw with a pair as well.
Nah, he doesn't have to commit all that much either.
No, just 4,000 more.
And he has the backdoor hearts as well, if that's really. But Martin actually has that covered, but he doesn't know that.
You know,
If it pairs up, you will. Oh, you won't now.
There is a second flush draw.
There's the other flush draw. Well, the rest is going to go in here. There's already 12K in the pot and only 3,600 back. So the hands are on their backs. Martin about a 3-1 favorite here.
Wow, you're re-raising people with like Queen 5.
no, I have not slash draw. What are you talking about? Not slash.
No, on the flop you raised me.
I was thinking the turn.
Jan Peter has is his gut shot live? The 10 would give him a straight, yeah.
Yeah, you can hit a 10.
Yeah, you should be okay.
So he's a 10 or a club. That is a 9. That's not going to cut it. Martin will win this one.
Martin proves to straight.
36.
Right.
Yeah, for some of these guys, this is a job, and for others, it's just fun.
I know there's some other players in the building who might jump into this cash game at some point. Phil Helmuth was expressing an interest earlier.
Oh yeah, Helmuth is here.
That'll be fun. He's a lot
He's
of
a
fun
fun
in these
guy.
games.
Yeah. You know, being good for the cameras is a skill set all of its own, and I think that's something that a lot of poker players who just learn the game don't necessarily work on as much as they should. You know,
For sure.
like you can make way more money in a game like this, even if you're not nearly as technically sound of a player, just by getting the invite. And you know, being good for the cameras, and you know, knowing when to gamble, knowing when to give up some equity, just to maintain your seat is really a essential part of the skill set. Martin with aces again.
Leon's 3 bets.
Leon's 3-bet with a.
Oh, it's 3 bet. He's raised off the straddle. Sorry.
Okay. He rushed back to the
But
table.
again, Martin's limped him with the aces again.
He rushed back to the table just to walk into this spot.
Jan Peter, interesting limp with kings. Oh, sorry, no, he was the big blind with kings. Apologies. Could have made an argument himself for, 3-betting to half his stack. I think that's what I would have done.
And Leon just snap gets it in.
Double suited Queen 9-8-4 is actually in pretty good shape against
Not
those
terrible,
aces.
not terrible. Jan Peter.
Everything live apart from the 8. He's got 2 flush draws live.
And Peter's got to decide if he's alive enough here. He only has 7,400 behind. But he is actually in pretty bad shape.
I think he knows against Leon he's probably in good shape, but again, he's a regular in the game. We'll know Martin more likely than not has aces here, given that he's holding 2 kings.
Sorry. Good job.
But it's Omaha. You can just stick in and gamble. How bad
That's
can it
true.
be?
Yeah, you can't really be in that bad of shape. Jan Peter still has 26%. You know,
In a three-way pot.
for those of us more accustomed to hold'em, the aces against kings, you know, you're 18% or whatever. But in this 26% three ways, his kings aren't very good though. They're not. They're not.
It's a good fold.
They're not suited.
You'll see now.
So now Leon's
percentage will shoot up.
Yeah, we'll see what the percentages are now that Jan Peter's out of the way.
Unsuited again.
Martin unsuited.
He's making the joke he's unsuited again. Like it's a loose play.
Double suited. Nice hand.
Nice hand.
At least I have.
So everything but the 8's live.
So I'm waiting for these percentages to update. There we go. Okay, yeah. So 57-42. Leon not in that bad a shape at all, really.
With the dead money, it's a positive gamble.
Oh, yeah, he only has 5,800 in front of him, so yeah, it actually is.
Well,
He's going to need a
he's got a
10.
gut shot.
Leon going to need a 10 here. He still has a higher percent than you'd think. 16% against top set.
And Jack. And 6.
Some backdoor chances as well.
4. It's not going to
one of
help.
them.
Not going to help. So a 10 for Leon going into the river, or else he is going to have to rebuy again. There it is. Daggers for Martin.
Wow. There it is.
Daggers.
He has more, yeah?
It's a good thing Martin's got 50 grand in his pocket.
I was playing 50k pot one.
But obviously they play a lot with each other. There's always things we won't know much on cold.
That's true.
They
That's
have a
true.
lot of history.
Who buys?
So the 800 straddles back on again.
Nice. All right, we got some action here, folks.
What did Leon
Sorry
have?
for the boring interlude. It's just the 1-1-2 game.
You call him?
Now we're back to 4-8.
At 3 aces.
3 aces. It's not good to play aggressively with 3 aces. Very hard to hit a set.
You told me that it's not good to play passive. Now you told me not.
No, but when you have 3 cards in your hand at Omaha,
Okay,
it's
everyone
better
will
not to get involved. Oh, you flopped the ace.
Always nice to have a suited ace when you've got kings.
Oh,
Well,
that's
ace is
lucky
suited.
then.
The king 5 is suited.
Sorry.
But yeah, it is nice to have the ace
misread that.
blocker. You're less likely to be up against aces.
Yeah, and
a lot, yeah.
when it does come an ace, which it,
I'm not going to fold this. I'm going to get my 9,000 bluff back. Oh, Martin's in.
Martin with a suited ace and some
Nice
other
now,
stuff.
Martin's in as
yeah,
well.
bad suited
I'm
8 with
just
it.
trying to think what I would fold here.
Nothing.
I don't think I would fold
It's
any
not much.
hand
He
here.
knows it's 2.5. It's almost certainly going to be 4-way.
25.
You can't imagine Rob or Leon folding.
Yeah, Leon will
Leon
manage to call
Vegas, right?
1,700 to see a pot of 86 now.
Leon's probably more like the raise than anything.
I would definitely take Leon to
There he
raise more than
goes.
fold. There's the raise.
He's definitely playing.
Well, Edward with kings.
I mean,
I don't know, the way Leon's been playing, it doesn't seem it's pretty hard to not just get it in here.
yeah, when you've got an ace in your hand as well. I mean, I just don't know how much he's played with Leon. And it's easy, of course, sitting here and saying that.
Yeah, of course it is.
Anytime you sat there with kings and you get, looks like
It also
a good
depends
spot.
on how much 30k euro means to you. And most of us, 30k euro is quite a bit.
I mean, it's going to take us all night, right, to earn that. I mean, obviously, it's easy saying it when you're sat here. We can see that
Yeah, that's true.
we've
With
got
final
way the
tables
best of
as
against
well,
that
yeah.
hand, but
You could ask him if he'll show you some cards.
he kind of has to go with it. If he didn't have an ace, you can make it up. Wow, it's just folded to Leon.
Edward hasn't been seeing the hands we have.
No, exactly. He's
Martin gets it in with his
Okay,
double suited ace X,
Am I correct
XX.
to call here with 4 random
And Rob
cards?
is actually the leader at this point.
Am I correct to call with 4
they're
random
on,
cards?
the other two on top of each other.
Okay, please, no coaching during the hand.
Yeah, how much is it? Oh, let's
Leon
gamble.
has more. Leon has more.
Let's gamble.
Yeah, meanwhile,
Yeah,
by
Rob.
far the best
Might
hand's
give
been
it Leon
folded.
some
A
money.
good call with Rob, yeah. The kings were definitely the best here.
Expensive casino, somebody has to pay for it.
Yeah.
Somebody has to pay the fish.
And this is the difficulty
Hard
coming
to make
into
money
a
on this table.
game full with regular players. If
There's no
you
rain.
don't know how they all usually play. I'm sure he's aware of how Leon plays. He might even be a regular. I'm thinking the service here, but
You gotta
all these kind of dynamics are built up over years
It's
of
very
playing with
bad
each
call
other.
by me, by the way.
It's nice that it's Omaha too, because you can justify gambling so much more easily in Omaha than Hold'em, you know.
Wow, and there's the king.
There's the
Close card
king.
out. He's kicking himself.
Oh, he would have made like 100,000 euros on this hand or something. So Rob way in the lead here,
Rob's got the open ender of the pair. Rob's
and
made
he makes
the
a straight. Leon with the nut straight though.
Yeah. So now the folding of king seems genius. Wow, it's hard for Rob to fold this, I think.
He does not have redraws.
I got a call.
Yeah,
I got straight, but
against Leon.
yeah, but not.
Leon's going to
eight.
be go straight.
Martin is dead. Rob is drawing to a
He's
chop.
he's got aces.
Leon going to make a huge pot here.
He's got ace 10.
Barring a 10 on the river,
I
right?
think he has ace 10.
Or an ace, not
Can
a
I
10.
mark my
Maybe
hand?
an ace.
Just the
We'll
ace.
play
Is it allowed to mark my hand?
There's only 2 left. Actually, there's only 1 left
I'm
because Edward folded an ace as well.
That's right.
There is 2 out.
So Rob drawing to 1 out to chop.
Ace, 2 aces.
Two
Not
left.
the best
Two
spot
left.
to be in.
2 left. We have one.
Just
Sorry, yeah, right.
Is there a chance for split?
Splitting is okay.
I have good chance for split, yeah?
A good chance. I don't know if it's a good chance, but you do have a chance.
I mean, maybe
It's
king of
Martin
spades
with
coming.
a 0 chance.
Maybe king of spades. King of spades coming and misdeal.
King of spades for misdeal as Martin's out here. Nope. And the king's full would have won from Edward. Yeah, he would
Edward was
have.
going to win to the flop. Very happy he saw the card on the turn, and now with the
How much do I owe Leon?
You win, but
Hello, welcome back. I am now joined by Rob Yong, who is playing this evening in the PLO Cash game. How's it going for you so far?
I think I'm losing. I was winning a little bit, and then I played some bad hands. A bad hand against Leon, and I had second nuts, and he had nuts, so he won like an 80k pot.
Is there like a bit of competition between you because you're both casino owners?
No, not really. I mean, we played together sometimes. Like we played in Russia and played in Vegas before, but we don't really play a lot against each other, really.
You don't chat about each other's decors and that kind of thing?
No, I mean, Leon's great. If you look at what he's done for this place, it's unbelievable. Like, the attention to detail is just like unbelievable. And like, I know this is in Rozvadov, but it has to be the best place to play poker in Europe, I think now.
Last night, I went up to the Grosvenor House in Park Lane and was delighted to see Party Poker, GVC Party Poker, win Poker Operator of the Year. They also won online Casino Operator of the Year, so it was
yeah, we briefly discussed it, but I didn't know much
few
about
celebration
it. So
drinks.
But it's an award I gather that Poker Stars have won for
yeah,
these times. And
yeah, it's
Brian were
obviously
discussing it's kind of the passing of the
delighted.
baton.
I hope so. Let's hope we can continue it. I mean, without doubt, the players are supporting the Party Poker Live Tour, and it's just going to get bigger. We're looking at the schedule for next year. There's approximately 50 events of different sizes around the world, so I'm hoping to meet a lot of new people there. Martin has got single-suited aces.
For about the 5th time, limping in again. It's been his default play, limp me raising so far with them every time.
knows, see what
Yeah,
happens.
here we go.
Cut off.
In fact, Rob even made a joke about it one time when he raised the button. As he raised the button, he said to Martin, "Why are you limping? You must know I'm going to raise my button." And still the pot developed. One of the pots Martin lost, 3 roll in.
This is this hand, like 2, 5, 6, 10 is the sort of hand that you'd see Leon raising out the position in small blinds and then potting any draw.
It's an interesting one, obviously. Martin.
So now he's telegraphed his hand. Rob knows he's got aces.
This is the problem. Rob knows he's got aces, and he's got a great hand against aces.
Yeah.
Double suited, loads of coverage.
Yeah.
You know, assuming Edward gets out the way, Rob's in a good spot. He doesn't want to take this hand 3-handed. His hand's terrible 3-handed, but against most likely aces, it's a really good spot.
8,400.
Edward has come along. I expect he will with that hand.
And that's not a bad flop for Rob.
It's a Rob flop.
Yeah. He's already got one pair with a gut shot. Multiple
Edward,
ways to
nothing.
improve.
Martin, though, as well, he's not going to win with aces and a gut shot on a 7 3 board.
No.
It should be a safe board, given it's a 3-bet pot.
Be good if a 4 come on the turn, wouldn't it? Martin have a wheel, and Rob would have the nut straight.
I think 8-5, but doesn't matter. I think
There's
it's
no
8-5.
way that Rob's folding here.
No, you can't really fold if you put someone on aces and you've got a pair and a gut shot. Backdoor flush draw. Honestly,
In
the
fact,
only,
you're
the only
right.
concern is obviously if he walks into Edward, but again,
Yeah.
on a 7 3 flop, Edward
So how much?
shouldn't
Yeah,
do
because
anything.
he's bet 8, but he's only got 11 behind, so that's the typical Rob. Just put him all in now.
Yeah. It's a flip.
So let's see if he can hit his two pair, his set, or his gut shot.
Obviously, you can do that on the 7 deuce 3 board. You couldn't do it on
Of course.
7 8 deuce board because Edward behind could have a rated hand.
But if 4 comes, I have straight.
Yeah, but Rob has a bigger straight.
But it's fine. I am happy if I have straight. It's good to have straight.
Martin's joking around a lot in this game. So he's losing.
1 second, who's favourite?
You always favorite.
No, the ace is a favourite.
Very close. Blocks the 5, he's favorite. Because you will not with the 5, you will not.
No, 5 he wins.
Ah,
If 5 comes, he wins.
That changes a lot.
No,
he's big favourite.
He
He's
is
got
now.
4 now, that's it. And full house.
Wow, what a run out from my hand.
Mm.
Rob ending up with 10 high. Well, it's about time Martin want to pop with the aces, as I say. He's
Is that the pot?
I'm just looking. We usually when we're doing commentary, we have like a chat box. We haven't got one here. This is we're actually sat behind the set, guys. That big screen that you can see behind it. There is a
He raised all in.
commentary room, a production room, set on 2 floors, and we're on the lower floor in a very, very small commentary box, soundproofed commentary box.
with very occasional air conditioning.
I didn't know how much he had.
You never know.
I put the big chips and you see the rest.
That's why you thought you went away.
Yeah, I just thought he was all in.
No, he could not bet all at once.
Ah.
It was not so much more. Right? You wouldn't fold anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. He bet
I think
8,
it
he had
was
11 behind,
50-50.
so Rob's never folding anyway. Although obviously he would fold on the turn.
Yeah, if it's in the time.
50-50, yeah?
No, that was my mistake. I just thought you were all in for like
So,
nothing.
the gentleman that's now sat down in seat 3 has played on the previous
You wouldn't fold anyway.
high stakes cash games when I was here a couple of months ago.
Yeah, you call and then 7. Yeah,
and
maybe
was
you fold it
very
up.
entertaining to watch. So let's hope he is again
Oh, yeah?
today.
Welcome
Do you know
to
who
the
this is?
table, sir.
The reason is because you keep
He's known as Peter for the purpose of this
Because
stream,
I
apparently.
put all the big chips and I
But
had
there are
all
some
my-
players
all
who
my
know who
I
he
thought you had
really
like
is.
6,000 or something.
the 500s are the
Very
big
cryptic.
Very cryptic.
No,
It could be. I'm not saying it is.
I just call. Right.
But you did not see the 2 big chips. The 10
No. He's smart. He goes like that.
Yeah, sure.
He's
I
smart.
was
He's
happy
like
you fold.
6,000 in the pot where he puts his whole stack in. Dealer should say that's more than the pot.
Rob making out with some sort of a mistake in the last hand doesn't mean he was getting it in.
No, he bet the pot, didn't he? He bet 8,400. Rob didn't realise. He thought he was all in. He obviously re-raised to get it heads up. But
My mistake.
I was even asked how much is in pot. It was 8-5, so I put 2 big chips. And the rest you see. It was nothing wrong.
He pushed the whole lot in.
next hand.
I just arrived.
Yeah, he was like, honestly, you'll see. Well, he'll probably watch a few hands, and then hopefully you'll see him making a few moves. He was the only player really making moves last time. It was very entertaining.
For me, it's actually, I like that better.
It looks like that gentleman's not going to be playing many hands.
Ranging the cards.
Yeah.
Are you going to start struggling or
I mean, there's been a few problems getting the cards on the screen from the readers.
Nice hand there for Elky.
Oh, nice hand, another bad flop
10
from there.
jack ace.
And everyone's just flop nothing. There we go.
Picks up the nut flush draw on the turn. Top pair nut
and the
flush
pair.
draw.
So. Again, you can make arguments with betting there, but checking is also fine. It's the best hand so often. You can check call.
Mm. So what surprised me, I'd commentated on the 25k high roller. I think it was during the German Poker Championships, and it was like a stellar lineup, and I was expecting some like incredible plays, and it wasn't. It was actually pretty much ABC. I was quite astonished. But hey,
Yeah, I'm good, man.
is that Roberto? Yeah.
Roberto Romano on the set. I saw him
Which one?
earlier.
Which one?
He was playing the monster stack, I think, second flight.
Rob, one of our party poker ambassadors.
Round of straddles.
You are in charge of the table, you tell them.
Okay, round of straddles, everybody.
Yeah,
Here we go.
straddles.
You're right. This
Straddles, come on, let's
Yeah.
new chap straight away, getting them going. If you're going to take Leon's seat, you've got to drive the action at least.
Hey, Rafi. Robert.
second I win.
Welsh pigeon.
No Welsh pigeon.
Oh, wizard.
He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet on the poker circuit, Roberto.
Yeah, actually,
Went to his
get rid
wedding
of the
earlier this
riffraff.
year.
Get rid of the riffraff.
To Catherine, it was
See if
fantastic
we're drinking a bit,
in Italy.
Come on.
You had to say when I turned up earlier, sort of strolled in here, and he's the first person I saw, and he took it upon himself to give me the tour.
Yeah, no, it's typical.
Yeah, catch up, yeah.
I know he's been coming here for quite a
He's
while.
a good guy,
another
Rafi. He may look like a pigeon,
big fan
but
of
he's a
it.
good guy.
I think you know.
Interestingly, now when I last commentated, it said Peter. Right, today they've actually put his real name there, so I'm not going to not say who he is now. So he's Rafi Amit, and he's World Series of Poker PLO champion from 2005. And the only reason I know that is I came 5th in the final. He took a lot of my chips, and then I went out and a few hands later.
I have my hair in a long time.
I have. It's not your only final on that event as well.
I have, some way I've boxed my way to 2 of them. So 2 pair for 2 players here. Martin, top and bottom.
And Elky were not such a bad hand either.
And Rob, bottom 2. Elky looking to pick up more draws on the turn.
See Rob actually with all 3 pair, in fact. So. I think Elky would be cool against Rob, but probably not going 3 ways.
So Martin and Rob.
Rob's been betting relentlessly.
3.3.
Well, that's his no-limit style.
Yeah.
He should adapt really on PLO, but he just loves seeing flops.
So I misread that. I thought Rob had 3
Yeah,
pair there.
I just ignored it.
I looked at the percentages there and thought, how's the Jack already come out or something?
Pot's 9,600.
Interesting. Elky would have taken the lead. You can't call 3-way though. For sure, the way Rob's been playing, he would have taken a card off on the flop with the ace king 9-4.
Situation. The problem that Rob's got here is if Martin calls here, 9 times out of 10, Rob will shove on the river.
Well, that's the thing, but Martin's not. I mean, it's not a great spot for Martin. It's hard though, like I say, with the way Rob's been playing and like he's stuck to fold.
Thing with this, as you well know, in PLO, you can be sitting there with 2 pairs, king 2. The 9 of diamonds could be a gin card for Rob. He might not be winning at the moment, but he might have picked up an enormous draw on the turn. Like a pair with a wrap and a flush draw.
I mean, the only thing against that is you've got 2 jacks with a jack of diamonds in his hand, so he blocks a lot of big draws. But they're not so relevant when it's a backdoor draw, but he definitely plays into it. He's less likely to have a hand like that. But you're right, it can, an innocuous card can actually be.
Okay, so Martin's called, and 9 times out of 10, Rob would fire a 3rd bullet.
Look at the flop there.
Well, it's a case of Rob bet the flop thinking he's got the best hand, and he's on the turn betting where he thinks he might have the best hand, but now he knows he definitely doesn't have the best hand. And if you're going to keep bluffing, this is the card to do it on. I mean,
complete
Might be a
blank.
different car, right? You're right.
Martin will check. Now will Rob fire a pot bullet? He normally would. He's thinking a bit too long here. Normally he would do it straight away.
I think he checked it back pretty quickly.
Well, clearly because of the time that Martin took on the turn, he now knew that he was behind.
It's interesting because he must, at that point, that was the only point that he knew that he was definitely behind. I think it's Martin not check calling draws in the flop. And King 8 Deuce Rainbow. But on the flip side, he could easily still just be trapping with, a set of kings.
Oh yeah, I show him.
Is it okay automatic now, 1-1-2? Anybody have a problem?
It's fine for me.
You have a problem? You're the new guy. Who asks you?
I told you he's a German, not a professional. He's a very nice guy, and I will protect this guy. If you make stupid jokes, he plays first time with cameras. He's I don't want to
I never seen you so talkative.
That's the second Martin. There we go.
Something good happened?
A lot of good things happen.
You are quiet normally.
No.
Yeah, right.
He's quiet.
Who is this guy?
I've never heard him not talking much. But
It's hard to hear me not talking.
yeah.
It's a very difficult thing,
1-1 is good.
How much?
It's a good game. 1-1.
Look who's in, Rob. Your boy, right there.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, look at this.
7.
He's picked up aces on the button.
7. I'm getting
Complain to Tarkan about
Ross folded the hand again.
Complain to Tarkan about the lineup, please. What's going on here? What are the players?
Good ace. The young guy?
I can be your father, probably. I mean, if you know what I meant. Theoretically. If you know what I meant. Explain him. New guy, explain him quietly.
I'm not too sure if I want to know.
Hey.
Wow,
This
there we
card
go.
looks pretty good,
First
doesn't it?
card,
Gave the
Martin
truth.
flops the Broadway wrap.
Are you that?
Triple gutter.
Huh?
Are you that senior? To us all? What? With him?
Be some action.
It's not about older.
How much would you bet here if you was Peter? I wouldn't bet the pot.
2,000.
Normally he would, but
Yeah,
there you go.
2,000, there it is.
Well spotted. There's no way that Martin can't call here.
No, it's just a question of whether
Like you
raise
say,
is
triple
a
gut
bad
shot
idea.
and double backdoor flush draws.
For 30?
All to the nuts.
Yes.
I don't think you'll call a pot size bet on the turn though. Well, you will now.
There you go. Martin
What
with the
a
nuts
gin
and
card.
a royal flush draw. Look, it looks up at the
Yeah,
screen. like-
trying to look weak.
He's looking.
Like-
He's looking at the Queen of Clubs on the big screen. I think. Is it really there? It's like looking at. That's great.
Oh, God.
David, wie ist es ausgegangen? Mainz-Frankfurt.
Well, he's definitely going to have to call here.
Especially as well. I mean, you have to call anyway, but he's got the ace of clubs in his hand, which is kind of a key card. He can bluff clubs on the river, or he thinks he can anyway. Certainly in these spots where you've got top set and someone's repping a straight, it's nice to have that as an extra bit of equity. You know, some of the time you can bluff them when a club comes, or more importantly, they can't bluff you if a club comes.
You are right. He's actually watching the big screen. And the club has come.
This is
now,
interesting now.
This is interesting because the best way that Martin can get money here is to check it.
It's interesting because obviously Peter can have it and he can have just the pair. And as Peter raised pre-flop, there aren't that many hands you raise pre-flop with the ace of clubs in your hand without another club in your hand.
Yeah.
It should be weighted more towards having it, but then Martin's got two clubs in his hand blocking. Two kind of key ones, or if he's raising up with the ace of clubs in his hand, you know, you'd imagine he has Broadway cards with it, and he's got two of the Broadway cards that are clubs. So it's betting very small here.
So it'll be interesting, won't it? Is Martin capable of trying to induce a bluff here?
Peter, I mean, I can't see how he doesn't shove. But
Martin with 48,000. Peter with 28. There's 24 in the middle.
there we go, sure enough. If it goes,
How much?
it's quite small.
17,000?
Obviously, again, these two must have played quite a bit of poker together.
Yeah, he's called.
Called straight
He's
away.
called. So, fair play to Martin. He has actually played the hand in that way.
Yeah, it was quite
Putting
quite
a
a small raise.
small bet at the end.
I say small raise, obviously, you can only go another 8,000 more, but I'm surprised he didn't
What do you have?
just shove.
Wait.
Open,
I opened my card.
Open the
What
card.
are you doing?
You mark. Ah, you didn't mark? I know, I'm just kidding. I think he wins.
I think when you bluff him, then you just got to shove.
I think he put that small bet in.
Trying to make it look like he was
Yeah,
value
exactly.
betting.
But also because if he puts in too big a bet, you know, then the guy shoves for 28,000. He's got a little bit more of a decision. But the way he did it,
He's trying to make it look like it's a value bet raise, but it just doesn't make much sense. But maybe he has it there, he's just going to shove as well.
also against Amit, I think when Martin's bet the flop. Sorry, bet the river and bet the turn and bet the river. He is likely to have it.
I'm not sure having Queen's Place is a bit far out, isn't it?
Which place?
Queen's Place? Queen's.
I think I know which one it is, but it's still apartments, right?
2 condos, yeah.
Yeah, 2 condos. Yeah, the one close to south. Those are extremely luxury place, and they say that they're awesome. And that area is very nice. It depends how many times you go to the strip, because from there it takes like 30 minutes.
What do you think about Mandarin?
Must be tough having to make these life decisions, wasn't it?
I'm just thinking, I'm familiar with the Queen's Towers out there.
Thinking about living 6 months in one country, 6 months in Vegas.
I was sat here making that sort of decision in my head. Which would I take?
Which one would you take?
The towers. There are nice towers out in Summerlin, but you're paying like money for apartment living. You may as well be in the middle of the strip. I mean, I get a house in Summerlin if I was making these sort of decisions.
Is that where Mike used to live?
No.
Jan has flopped trip aces.
Next month, Black Friday.
Yeah, the sort of new, the big condo buildings out in Summerlin. Phil Ivey used to have a place there.
Go chill.
Nut flush for Max.
My girlfriend likes Vegas. No mosquitoes. The thing about Dubai's got no mosquitoes, but the problem Dubai, but the problem.
I never been to Dubai.
I went to Sochi in Russia. I was bites all over me. Max, you raise, yeah?
Yes.
I'm going to pass my pocket jacks.
Yeah, so Yana didn't bet the flop.
Hi, cheers, Rob.
Cheers, good to see you again, Rob.
Cheers, guys.
I think his corner is knowing Max almost certainly has a flush when he makes a raise like that, having himself not bet the flop.
Well, Jan's filled up on the river.
I think he should know that Max wouldn't raise ace-jack on the turn after checking the flop.
Max has got a bit unlucky here.
I'm losing at no limit.
Yeah, you play a bit more in no limit.
Alright. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you're like crazy on this table, aren't you?
Max has had enough.
Good night, Max.
See you in another day.
Good night, Max.
So Max Pescatori leaves the table.
I have you.
Oh, we have another new player.
Let's put it up.
Another newbie.
Oh, sorry.
Are you familiar?
No.
I can buy?
Yeah.
Must be coming in just to play a few hands.
I thought you don't believe me, that's why I bet it.
If I put more
I
money
didn't
now,
look
I need to
before,
tell
so.
somebody? Because they keep track?
Yeah, they keep track, yeah.
Yeah, sure. You want to put money now?
Yeah, let's
The doctor
stay
is in the
ahead
house.
first.
How much
The doctor is in
information
the
do you
house.
want?
I want all the information
I mean,
you
he
can
does
give.
9 questions. It's 12 o'clock at night.
I have more.
Ask them to Martin.
The German government spent like 300,000 on him to study medicine, and he's here playing poker.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Mazipo?
Unbelievable. Be careful, Rob.
I'm blind.
Be careful.
How can you fold to a blind man?
You're really blind?
Yeah, I'm completely blind. Come on, Jan, have some heart. I'm
Come
blind.
on. I believe that you're blind, I make
raising him.
1,200. I'm not sure if I believe you, but
I'm blind.
just to get the doctor out.
You got it.
Let's go.
Dr. House is out.
Well, this bet's not going to work.
This is a race.
Check raise, in fact.
I think it's folding. Show a bluff. It's good for the game. Come on. One time.
Show every hand. It's like on the street.
Oh, what? That's not a bluff. You had a flush draw, a pair. Much better than mine.
You would have just called.
I would fold.
Rob Yong making a bit of profit at the Omaha cash game tonight, and he'll be back next time as the Phil Hellmuth Invitational game gets underway.
You are a lovely gentleman. Nice and slow, please.
Wolf checks it, no messing around. Crocodile straight away all in. So by the time Rob sees you bluff up 100 grand, it's already gone.
Phil has chosen, oh my God, can you believe this? Phil Hummuff has played a hand no one could put him on. 6-4 off and flopped the nuts.
Look at that face.
Money talks as Phil sits down with the Wolf and the Crocodile at the No Limit Hold'em table in another cash game from Kings.
This is hilarious.
¡Ya, crocodilos! ¡Ya, bolos! ¡Ya, bolos!